Hello everyone, how are you? I have a few minutes to live stream, so I thought I'd take advantage of this time. Uh, I've let the boys sleep in so I can speak with you. Um, uh, a lot is happening in Victoria at the moment. We've had a significant increase in COVID cases, which is challenging. Hey, thanks for joining. Hello, thank you for joining. I wanted to touch base with you to check that you're okay. Once again, I'm in my pajamas. Uh, hey, I've got quite a lot of comments on my stories, so please tune into my YouTube stories because I've now learned how to use them. I love you too, Nathan. And I'm glad you're doing well. And so I'm going to check in with you with my YouTube stories. I'm getting a lot of requests for certain content, and I've looked at that content, and a lot of us, am I okay? Thank you so much, Randy. Am I okay? I am okay. I do a lot to help my sister, as you know, and my sister has brain acquired injury. She's an amazing person, and I've got the 4 kids. Adwina, hello. But we are happy and we are a lot more lucky than many because we live in Australia. We have a lot of advantages here. Flora, great to hear from you. So I am more and more okay with every day. And meditating helps me be okay. Thank you, Desira, for listening to my meditations. I wanted to talk a little bit about anxiety today. I'm so sorry, shadowy wolf, that you are not okay. I say each time I do a live stream, one of the aspects I find a little bit challenging is I see you say hello to me and it flashes up for maybe 2 seconds and I want to take it in and honor the comment, and then I have something I want to say. I think live streams are important sometimes, but I'm looking at the comment and thinking about the message I want to give. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry you're having a panic attack. So I'm getting comments here about panic attacks and anxiety. And I wanted to address this. And I know for some of you I'll be repeating myself, but I think it's important to repeat myself here. And you know that I work for the government in the area of disability and mental health. Anxiety, or the expression, the experience of being anxious. So anxiety is something you feel. Now, I could say that I choose to feel anxiety or you choose to feel anxiety. That is way too simple to say that. While I'm speaking, my children may get up and then I'll just have to get off the stream quickly. That's anxiety. So we have 2 sides to us. We are living, breathing bodies. We are animals. We're living and breathing and we have a biology. And our biology produces hormones, and our biology is social. We are a herd animal. It's a fact. We are a herd animal. So we are attracted to living with others. We are at our best in a functional, supportive, communal environment, a society, and that society needs to cater for and care for its subcultures. So we are an animal, we are social, we produce hormones. Does that make sense to everybody? And part of those hormones means that we are driven to create a family, we are driven to have a mate, and that is an internal drive. And one of the things that drives us to be social is our biological need for attachment. We are driven to create healthy attachment. Now, if we don't create any attachment at all, we are narcissists or sociopaths or one of those. So we need to form attachments. Then if we become too attached, we affect the stability of our subculture, our community, our family, and we affect our ability to be happy. So I know I'm breaking this down. So we have the biology, we are animals. Then we have a consciousness. Now, a lot of people use the word, oh my goodness, Bradley. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you very much. Someone's just donated to me. I find, because I like to do one thing at a time, thank you so much, Bradley. I find the live streaming quite challenging for my brain because you know that I'm on the spectrum. I have autism and I love to have this contact with you and I need to. So I'm listening to you and I have a message and I'm really grateful to you. Thank you, Bradley. So I'm talking about our animal side. We are animals and it's important that we do not deny our animal side and we accept it and we work with it. So our animal side needs to be well, physically well. Our animal side needs to have as little physical pain as possible. Our animal side needs to create functional relationships. Our animal side, I think I said needs to sleep, needs to have touch, hugs, etc. So honor your animal side. Then we have, I'm not keen on the word higher consciousness or enlightenment, but you know what I'm saying. We have a consciousness, a side to us that I believe communicates to other souls. So we have this esoteric consciousness. And then we have the balance between the two. So we have our esoteric consciousness, our true awareness, our ability to be in the moment, and then we have our animal side, our need to belong, our need to be liked, our need to buy the t-shirt that is selling well in shops and comes on advertisements. We're all affected by that. Do people like this t-shirt? Is this t-shirt popular? Then we want to buy the t-shirt, or many of us do. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that. So we have brands like Coca-Cola or Nike. We want to buy these products because we see it as socially acceptable and we want to be socially acceptable. We want to belong. Do not negate your need to belong. Honor it, look down upon it. Sometimes I get comments from people, oh, you're so wise, you're so mature. Be very aware that what you see here is a live stream where I'm attempting to listen to you. I have 4 kids. I scream at my 4 kids. I cry. I find life hard. I overthink. I over-ruminate. I express anger. We are all the same. There is no one person that is going to save us. We can only save ourselves. So the first step is to identify, to know what we're dealing with. So to know the environment around us, which is animal versus consciousness. How do we walk this precarious path? We meditate. The meditation we have is not always perfect. So we meditate in the life that we have. Sometimes life is pretty shitty and we meditate in that situation. Thank you, Sean. Yes, Sean is commenting about letting go. Our past is not who we are. We define our sense of self. We do that. We choose our feelings and thoughts. Now, I want to really put a caveat there. We have the ability to choose our feelings and thoughts. However, this is affected by several things. A trauma our mother or father experienced is generally handed down to the child. A trauma a race experiences, this is important, a trauma a race experiences 200 years ago is handed down through the generations. It's important we know this as a society. So if a particular suburb experiences a number of different struggles demographically, the people that live in that suburb will hand that down. So we choose our thoughts and feelings. It can be quite challenging if we have a trauma handed down to us or we feel a trauma as a child. So the path towards awareness is to walk gently. Forgive your animal side. Work constantly to have a union between your animal side and your aware side, or your conscious side, or your enlightened side. Hey, every day find moments to meditate safely. And meditation is not about, thank you so much. Thank you, Just Gino. Thank you so much. Thank you. Meditation is not about doing something amazing. It is not about suddenly being all zen and being in the moment. Meditation is about just focusing on what can I hear? How is my body feeling? Let the thoughts go. Look down upon the thoughts and feelings. A thought that bothers you today is unlikely to bother you in 4 to 6 years in most situations. And that is the way we need to approach our thoughts. Thank you. I'm glad. There's so many questions here. Tom is talking about how can we meditate when we're on medications. Some of these questions is, without me being with you, it's difficult to know how to help you. I've got quite a, thank you so much. I've got quite a number of requests about how to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. One of the things I want to make you aware of, this is look at all the mess on my shelf. This is a live stream. I haven't met you. I don't know your background. Any video that says it can support post-traumatic stress disorder is, I don't think that's reasonable. Until you have the person in front of you, you need to be very, very conscious with a duty of care that I don't know you. I want to care for you. I want to support you. So thank you, Renee. My advice needs to be general because you do listen to me and I want to give you the best advice. If you are suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, you need to see a professional. I hope I'm saying that with honor because I want to honor who you all are. One other thing is I am putting all my meditations slowly on my podcast so that you can get them without ads if you want to. So it's, I must have a look at that. Thank you very much. If you see something good like that, someone's recommending something for post-traumatic stress disorder, then have a look. Anything for post-traumatic stress disorder needs to be supportive therapy. Supportive therapy means to be general. Oh my goodness. I'm a little bit blown away. Thank you so much. That comment with the last donation, could you put that comment back up? Because I see it for 2 seconds and I'd like to see it again. So Iris, I have so much to say to you. Oh, I love you, Iris. Yes, I'm looking at the comments because I want to honor them. If I don't reply to your comment, please understand that I work. What about ADHD with post-traumatic stress disorder? Okay. I have ADHD, diagnosed with ADHD, and I've been diagnosed with high-functioning autism on the spectrum. So that is quite a conversation, including lots of different, I love you too, Iris, lots of different aspects. And it's different for males and females, the experience of autism and ADHD. And yes, and post-traumatic stress disorder can be handed down through parents to children because if your parent has experienced it, you're going to take that on or you're likely to take it on. I don't have the ability to swipe on the comments like you do, not till at the end of the I'm seeing some really interesting comments here about post-traumatic stress disorder. All right, I'm going to have a think about it and do something supportive here. When I create a meditation, because I don't have a sound studio, I use my walk-in robe and put towels at the bottom. So it's quite challenging for me to do a meditation. And I also want to honor your comments. So I spend a long time going through the comments and then I miss some. So, yeah, I guess that's the way it is. One of the things about growing a channel is I don't want to lose sight of the individuals in the growth of the channel. So I spend time stopping creating in order to look at the comments. I've received some emails this week. I have an email list. If you go in the description of my videos, it comes up and you can belong to the email list. People email me personally from the email list, and I try to get through the emails. And then I answer some of the emails in some of the content I do. And then I've also got the Patreon as well. It's all a little bit frenetic because I have 4 children and I work full time. I'm working towards changing that, but not yet. Thank you so much. Try to go back through some of my historical meditations too, because I do want to spend time going through the comments, answering the comments. I work for the government. I work with offenders who are unfit to play. So I work as part of a team and helping offenders become rehabilitated, offenders who have a dual diagnosis. And they are beautiful, beautiful people. I'm just spending a couple of seconds reading. Yes. Thanks, Iris. I love my job so much. The people are fantastic. It is a miraculous place full of amazing souls. And if I could use the word addicted, I'm addicted to that subculture. They are just beautiful. And yeah, they're all beautiful people. Meditation is about being in the moment. It's not about doing anything special. It's not about achieving this amazing and, state, angelic state. It's just about taking a moment and saying, I'm alive. I'm breathing. I can feel my arms. Absolutely. Arms and legs. I'm okay. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. That is meditation. I add to that. So I have a focus in most of my meditations. Pure meditation, no music, being in the moment. That is enough. Of course, if you're in a safe environment, that is enough. I really encourage you to do basic meditation, simple meditation. Please keep an eye out for my story on YouTube stories, because I'll be doing now more and more of these stories for you. Yes. Don't worry. Okay, Sophie's talking about having a panic attack in front of friends. Don't worry about what your friends think if you have a panic attack. Goodness me, that's the least of your worries. Don't worry about what other people think. You are wasting life. You are wasting moments. Do not worry about what people think of you. That's a hard lesson to learn, because remember our animal side and our conscious side. I worry about what people think about me. I worry when I become heightened or emotional. I worry about what people think. It is a waste of my time. It is a waste of your time. Hello, Tamala. Do not worry about the opinion of others. Look down upon your thoughts. Look down upon your feelings. Let go of opinion. Now, you know that that's a process. I struggle with that. You struggle with that. I had a person recently who followed me on social media, and over time, she loved my content. Over time, she read more and more about my story. And when you look at my meditations and content, you hear about my story. You all know my story, I think. The more she read, the more she said, I thought you were enlightened. I thought you were wise, but you've had a difficult story. You are a victim. You have struggled. And she was quite unkind. She was nasty about it. And I thought it was really interesting that if you look at some of the wisest prophets, for example, can I get her name right? Chema Chodron. Do you know Chema Chodron? Look her up. The surname is Chodron. She became a Buddhist monk. She's absolutely fantastic. And she started her journey when her husband was unfaithful to her. She has a story. People that reach a point of wisdom have a story, a backstory. We are all human. Anyone that denies their vulnerability lacks a sense of awareness. We are all vulnerable. We all make mistakes. We are all prone to emotion. It's okay. It's about honoring that, taking time to be kind. And that doesn't mean we're kind all the time. I read one of Shema Chodron's books where she was talking about moments where you could assess that possibly she was a little bit harsh. She gave an example of when she was very tired after a day's work and someone asked her to fill in a meditation class and she just said no. She was too tired. She had boundaries. The boundaries were great, but you could say, oh, perhaps you should have filled in and did that meditation. I really like the way she has boundaries. I encourage you to look at her. Yes, Tamala, you are very wise. It is a wise, grounded person that understands that other wise people have backstories, and the backstory fuels, nurtures, fertilizes the person they are. Now, we choose who we want to be. However, that is a process. It's not so, hello, Tracy. It's not so easy for people that have experienced trauma. And one of the problems is we say when someone's experienced trauma, you choose how to feel, you choose how to be, just let it go. If someone's experienced trauma, it is very, very challenging for them to let it go because trauma is like a limpet, from the sea, the ocean, those things that lock onto the rock. That's a very simple way of describing it. But people that have experienced trauma, it is a long process to let go. So feel for people that have experienced trauma. Listen to their story. Allow them to have their process. There's nothing worse than somebody that spends an afternoon with a friend who suffered and then at the end of the afternoon says, well, I've helped you now, move on. Allow people who have suffered to have their process, number one. Number two, with generational trauma, know that a race that experienced trauma 300 years ago is still experiencing the trauma. Fact. We're social. Fact. Thank you so much. Trauma, barnacles, leeches, parasites. Trauma latches on. Allow people who experience trauma to have their process. Don't tell them to cheer up and move on. Listen, encourage, support. Of course, we do need an end date to processing grief, but that end date is individual and needs to be experienced by the individual, not told to them. A good psychologist will never tell someone what to do. A good psychologist will use cognitive behavioral therapy to challenge the person to create their own toolbox to self-recovery. I'm sorry I keep looking down. I'm going to keep doing it. Healing. Yes, healing is a careful balance between the process and then sometimes saying, enough, I need to let go now. Enough, let it go. Thank you for listening to my... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Casey is talking about losing a wife. Oh my goodness, there's so many comments here about grief, exclusion, race. And again, with live streams, I want to talk about a concept, but also honor. Okay, if a psychologist tells you you should be over your brother's death, the psychologist is, I'm just saying it, negligent. Grief is a process. It is a careful process, a balance between honoring the grieving process, which we need. We need in order to be functional mentally well. That's why we have funerals. That's why we have memorials and journals, etc., to help us with grief. Then there is a time we need to say, okay, I've reached this point in my grieving process. If someone dies, there will be grief for the rest of your life. It's how you process that grief and how you live a full life within that and who you become, because we're a different person. Yes, we're a different person through our grief process, and grief can make us more beautiful, and grief can make us more whole, and we can become the person we are destined to come through grief. The rituals we have in society, such as a funeral or anniversaries of someone's death, or creating a monument, or spreading the ashes, or writing a new journal about grief, or speaking to the soul after they've passed, like just speaking or writing a letter to the soul who has passed. These are all valid and important processes. It comes back to do not take on the opinion of others. Find your own way in goodness, safely, honouring the service of others while looking after who you are as a person. Okay, I'm going to go in a minute. I've got to, yes, it is hard. And life is hard. Grief is hard. Life is hard. And within the perfect storm of life, we are to find contentment. Contentment is found in the eye of a storm. Our life is a storm. Find the eye of that storm and sit in it. Sometimes you may fall back into the storm and then get back into that eye. The eye of the storm, the perfect stillness. You can do it. Thank you. Yes, you are. I am doing well. Thank you. I will go in a moment. Yes, we all have amazing strength and resilience. Doesn't make it easy. Resilience is extremely important, that we develop resilience and let things go. Look down upon what happens in life. And I've had various things happen this week where there's been just normal stuff. And it's about letting go the small stuff. Is this really important for my brain, my life, to focus on this thought? Or am I missing the beautiful view of the sunset and the flowers because I'm focusing on this thought of phone bill or whatever else? Think about, how do you want to spend your life? Because you spend your life in your thoughts. You spend your life in your feelings. Thank you so much. Calming and grounding. Come and live with me with the 4 kids. And I don't think you'd find me so grounding and calming. I work very hard to be grounded and calm. And it's a process. I'm not always calm. Journaling. Flor has talked about journaling. I journal every single day. I think you know I use Penzu, Penzu, and I love it. And I love it when Penzu sends back thoughts from a year ago, because I see how I have processed stuff. So I really love Penzu. Big one for use Penzu. That's non-sponsored, of course. Yeah, journaling is really, really important because it lets you look down. And the action of journaling, so it's typing, the action of typing the words helps me as well. I need to leave in a moment, so I'll look for a couple more questions and then I'll go. And Milo, I'm sorry, I don't understand Arabic. So sorry about that. Thank you very much. I'll try to do this once a week. I'm not able to schedule anything on time because, thank you, Iris, because my life doesn't work that way at all. Shadowy Wolf, what a lovely message. So Shadowy Wolf is saying to everyone, to all struggling, hang in there. Use the comments under the videos to each time you look at a video, write something nice to somebody underneath. Reassure them, we are okay. We are okay in this moment. We can create the sentiment to be okay in each moment, and find a sense of being okay in each moment. We can do that. Forgive yourself. Be gentle. Go easy. Thank you. I'm going to go now. Okay. Yeah. It's really lovely that you're accompanying each other. That's really important. I'm going to go. Gracias. Bye. The program Penzu, Penzu. Bye. Don't forget, please follow me on my podcasts. I'm going to put all the videos up there for those of you who want to watch your internet costs. Bye.